And of course, where there is football, there have to be fans. And Polish supporters invaded Moscow's Red Square, shouting and cheering ahead of their World Cup Group H showdown with Senegal. Fans jumped up and down in the Red Square, just steps away from the Kremlin and St. Basil's Cathedral, pumping themselves up before the match. Senegal reached the 2002 quarters final and stunned defending champions France in their opening game. These supporters are confident that they can steal a win this year as well. Now, the euphoria of Mexico's massive win over world champions Germany has soured a bit, with FIFA opening a disciplinary action investigation against Mexican fans. FIFA is looking into alleged homophobic chants that were directed toward the German goalkeeper Manuel Neuer during that game. Mexico's Football Federation has been fined 9 times during the qualifying campaign for similar chants by fans and has repeatedly asked supporters to refrain from using these slurs. Now, the fans themselves say that they haven't used anything which is homophobic or has homophobic connotations. They say it's a matter of cultural interpretation. Every World Cup match has 3 anti-discriminatory officers in the stands to monitor supporter behavior. Saudi Arabia's national football team landed safely in Rostov-on-Don, Russia, after one of the engines on the plane carrying the players to a World Cup match appeared to catch fire. A spokesperson for the airline Rossiya denied that a fire had taken place and said that the fault was developed due to a bird strike. The team were traveling on a Rossiya Airbus A319 from St. Petersburg to Rostov-on-Don. As confirmed by a Rossiya airline spokesperson, the plane apparently suffered a technical fault with one of its engines, with a bird getting caught seen as the preliminary cause. The spokesperson also clarified that reports of a fire in one of the engines was incorrect. Videos shared on social media had showed an aircraft that posters on it, identifying it as the Saudi team's plane with its wing on fire while it was in the air. The footage, which Reuters was unable to verify independently, was shared by the civil aviation monitoring website airlive.net. It said that the fire broke out on the approach to the Rostov airport. Meanwhile, the Saudi Federation released photographs of the players smiling and looking calm as they boarded a bus for the hotel that they're staying at in central Rostov. The team are making their first appearance at the World Cup since 2006. They suffered their biggest defeat at the tournament so far when they were thrashed 5-0 by the host Russia in the opening game in Moscow last Thursday. Uganda's sports betting business is booming by the day. As the World Cup gets underway, big games will also mean new chances to make money in the country's fast-growing sports betting business. Here's more.
Football and betting is an addictive combination in Uganda. In just a few years, betting shops have become a feature of cities, towns and villages across the country, with more and more willing to have a flutter.
I win, I lose, I win, I lose, so I don't know exactly if they have eaten me or I've eaten them. I still don't know exactly, but I think I've eaten them.
In Kampala, there are hundreds of betting shops and people are increasingly gambling online, thanks to the ubiquity of smartphones that enable web and app-based bets. In 2016, the government established a national gaming board in an attempt to regulate the exploding industry.
We know very well that most of the youth love sports, especially the male youth. They love football. So they all place bets on their favorite teams, especially out of the Premiership. Now, because they've done that a lot, they have even moved to other unknown leagues, like the Chinese league, not even only the first division, but they play on the second and the third.
The growth of the industry is also creating new jobs. Ivan Kalenzi runs his sports betting consultancy from his sports clothes shop in one of the malls. He has clients from all over the world, but has seen many gamble their lives away.
For the last 5 years, I've been meeting people with so many different problems, fees, people are losing houses because of gambling, people are losing out on families because of gambling, people are in too much debts because of gambling. So there are many problems associated with gambling.
Innocent has been gambling for 6 years, but thinks he will eventually stop.
I don't advise family people, actually people who are having family, who are married, to do this betting all the time, because sometimes it takes you, but for me, I'm still not married. The day when I get married, I might stop.
For many others, it may not be so easy, and with Uganda's high unemployment rate, the lure of an easy win risks dragging more into dangerous debt.
Right, and it's just been about 6 days since the 2018 World Cup. We're going to be taking you through some of the best goals. But before we do that, the Moldovan capital of Saransk has readied itself to host the World Cup match between, or in fact, it has already hosted the match between Colombia and Japan. Japan, remember, thrashed Colombia 1-0. The local football game, which is dubbed Lapot ball, is also gaining popularity. In Russian, the word means the traditional shoes made of wine, which Moldovians used to used to wear back in ancient times. Colombian fans were seen trying to get their hand at the game as well. The small Lapot ball pitch, located at an open-air ethnographic Moldovan museum in the very heart of Saransk, has turned into one of the main tourist attractions for football-mad fans making their way into Russia. Now, these handmade bass shoes are one of the main attractions of the sport. That's made using the inner part of the vine plant, while the bark itself serves as a foundation for the football. The ball used in Moldovan soccer is way heavier than the ones that are usually used.